Who the hell wants to grow old? They say life can pass you in the blink of an eye. Don't blink, because life is what happens while you're busy making plans. And when you making plans, you know what life says? Hello, Governor. Rakai Steed, nupefromdaville. Listen, I'm going to jump right into it. Doctor Who, Season 3, Episode 10, Blink. Oh my God. Y'all told me. I'm a believer. I am a believer. Best Who episode ever. And there have been some good ones. Listen. Now, I know the name of the episode was Blink. I'm going to call this Don't Blink. Because I don't want you to miss a thing. This was taken from a short story written by Stephen Moffat. And it's crazy to think that this episode came out in 2007, 2008, maybe. Crazy. So good. It reminded me of so many other things. And I think I said at the end of the review with me and Centel, and if you haven't had a chance to see it, go into the description right now and click on the link and watch the review that we did on Centel Reacts. The thing about the weeping angels, they are said to be assassins from another planet. And when you blink, when you take your eyes off, and when you turn your back to them, they are on your butt. But the real deeper theory here is that the angels represent old age and death. Now, why do I say that? Because the only time that the angels are deadly and that they move is when you're not looking at them. And that's a metaphor for when you're not looking at your life. Your life passes you by just like that. I was talking to one of my best friends the other day, and I was telling him there was something that he said he wanted to do business-wise. And I said, okay, well, do it tomorrow. He's like, nah, I'll do it next week. No, do it tomorrow. It's too late for you to do it today, so do it tomorrow. And he was like, why? And I was like, who said that you will be with us next week? You can't take any day for granted. Every day that you are able to open your eyes is a blessed day. You know, it's often just a saying for many people that live each day like it's your last. But it may be your last. I told him, if you don't do this, we'll have a conversation next year and you'll still be talking about shoulda, woulda, couldas. We not spring chickens anymore. And even though I'm still a young man, and don't mistake all this maturity in my beard, this is because I got 4 kids and they put all this here. And I don't have the right type of conditioner to get it out. That went over y'all's heads. Don't worry about it. Your life goes by in the blink of an eye. And that's why the weeping angels represented death and old age. Because look at it, they're assassins, but when they caught you, and as we saw from Kathy Knight and Billy in the episode, When they caught them, they didn't die. They died in the timeline that they were in, but they transported them to the past. They transported Catherine to 1920, from 2007 to 1920, or 2008 to 1920. They transported Billy to 1969. He had to live another 40 years just to get back to where he was. Kathy never got back to where she was. She had to send her grandson to meet up with Sally Sparrow. They said that the assassins, the weeping angels, they essentially killed you in the timeline of where you were. So everyone who knew you during that time, all the friends that you had, all the relationships you had, were essentially dead because you're now a missing person. You no longer exist in the time that you're in. They shifted you to a different part of time, and you had to start all over, which doesn't seem awful. I mean, it would have been awful because Billy was a black man. If they had shifted him to 1920 and, Kathy to 1969, it'd been very different for Billy than it was for Kathy. But the thing is, it's still about mortality and how much we take that for granted. I can't say that I have always done the right thing. And in myself maturing, I have been a lot more cognizant of trying to take care of my life. Not my health so much. I'm getting better at taking care of that, and that's way out of whack. I know y'all can't see me sitting behind this, through the camera, but I'm quite voluptuous. I'm quite sexy with a big back. And I'm working on it. It's coming down. And you would never know I used to be an athlete in the Army. Used to, jog 13 miles a day. I didn't like it, but I did it. 6-pack, 12-pack. You can wash your clothes on my abs. And they still there. They are just well camouflaged. They in layaway right now. I'm trying to get them back out. But the one thing I am appreciative of, and I, being a religious man myself, pray every day, is that I am thankful every morning when I get to open my eyes. With all this added size on me, I got a little bit of sleep apnea. So when I do wake at night, the whole thing about sleep apnea is, it's almost like, essentially like you die in your sleep. It's almost like you stop breathing multiple times. And then somehow your body survival instinct kicks in and it forces you back to breathing. But it's a very awful way to sleep, and you don't get a good night's sleep. So every morning when I open my eyes, I thank God that I was able to do so. And I wake up with the intention of doing right by God and doing right by my children. And I do realize that many things that I have put off over the years due to depression and an overabundance of anxiety, just life beating me down and whooping my ass and not even bothering to take my name, I am have fought through that to get back to a much healthier place. The Weeping Angels was an incredible episode because even though the angels represented death and mortality, old age, what we did see in the episode was that Kathy married the first man that she ran into when she got back to 1920. She had beautiful kids. She had grandkids. She had a life that she appreciated. And sometimes, unfortunately, we need to be jostled. We need to be rocked out of our current life to appreciate the life that we have. Too many times do we get bogged down and learn to focus on what we don't have instead of appreciating what we do. We learn to make a big deal of the failures instead of celebrate all of the successes. It shouldn't take the worst events in your life to make you appreciate your life. A friend of mine was in a horrible car accident some years ago. Yes, alcohol was involved. He essentially lost sight in an eye, damaged his mouth, and he was laid up in the hospital for quite a while, laid up, out of commission. You would think that that would have lasting effects and significantly change him in the way that he thought about his life. And it has, but then again it hasn't. Because it is so hard for some people who lack the willpower to take that next step all on their own. And I'm not saying that to belittle his journey, because he's made a journey, he's a changed man, but he's not even close to being all the way there. Alcohol is still very much a part of his life, and a lot of times we will run to whatever will comfort, soothe, pacify us, make us forget about those problems we have, because at least if we can forget about them for a while, we can pretend they don't exist. That's easier than dealing with the actual root cause of the problem. This entire episode, even though it had hints of the movie It Follows, it had hints of Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street, it was about making the most out of your life, to not waste a minute of it. Because just like that, in a blink, it can be over. Or what you know of it can be over. Every elderly person on earth will tell you to appreciate the life that you've been given and whatever time you have left. Blink of an eye, it can all be gone. Do yourself a favor. Love yourself, find yourself, and be the best you that you can possibly be. Rakai Steve, nupefromdaville. Hit the like. Give me some comments. What did you think of this episode of Blink? What did you think about what I'm saying here? Share this video. Share this video. And by all means, subscribe. It's all about this and this.